What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Older Harmon Jr. Please feel free to find me at all your favorite social media at Older Harmon Jr. I keep it simple because I'm nice like that. Guess what, everybody? It is 2021. We have survived another year. I mean, the Santa or Jesus did not descend and save us all from 2020, but we here. And I'm hoping by December 2021, I'm gonna be like, haha, I'm in Costa Rica. What y'all doing? I'm living life. No, Michael, I promise you, the second they be like, you need your COVID passport, I'm like, give me my shot, give me my pina colada, give me my little neck pillow. I'm gone. Like I'm just out. I don't know where I'm going.
I respect it.
But as always, everyone, we have a great show for you. Season 4. And since we're starting season 4, I wanted to kick it off with a very special guest, starting this year off right. We got the one, the only, Michael Higham. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. It's technically the last day of vacation. So I got like the Schmondays. We call them Schmondays. Is like where you feel the anxiety of Monday approaching towards the end of a Sunday. But I'm trying to stave it off. It's all right. Like it's nothing, no wild pressure. Once we get back into the quote unquote office, aka our Zoom calls, we're not gonna be going too hard on our first day back because my sleeping schedule's fucked up, and I'm sure everyone else's is. So, but yeah, I'm feeling all right. And also, this is a very nice way to end my vacation by talking to you, Odell. Like, hey. We chopped it up at PAX East, and we've been going back and forth online a little bit, but it's different when you get to just have a conversation one-on-one. So I thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, no, I appreciate you in more ways than one. I am eternally grateful for being on. But Michael, I know you, but just in case people listening out there don't know, who are you and what do you do? Truly.
Oh, yeah. So I'm an editor, an associate editor to be specific, at GameSpot.com. Hit video game website, GameSpot.com. I also do some hosting as well. I do some video hosting. They put me on camera. I try and look nice. I'm saying? I got the lighting going on. I also don't get paid for that role, but you know what? I do it anyway because you do things to put yourself out there, and I'm really proud of the work I do at GameSpot. I'm really proud of the work that a lot of folks at GameSpot do. It's a good place. And I feel like, we're trying to turn the culture around, and we have some of the right people to work alongside to do that. So I'm a writer, primarily, editor, and then I hop on some videos sometimes. But yeah, that's what I do. That's how I move across the industry, I guess. And I like writing. I love writing, but goddamn, is it hard? It's like one of those things that I'm always happy with the end product, but to get to that point is like, man, you have to jump through so many mental hoops. But yeah, I'm just thankful I get paid for that because it's a lot of work sometimes, but there's no other type of work I'd rather be doing.
Bro, I feel you. So many times I'm just like, damn, this article's about to be fire. I got all these ideas. 2 paragraphs in. I don't know how to display my thoughts on paper.
I've exhausted thesaurus.com at this point.
But yeah, man, great to have you here. GameSpot's doing this thing. I saw it was number 1 on the UK charts. I was like, taking over the world.
Oh, snap. Hey, Simon Cardy, come at us.
Yeah.
Simon Cardy's over at IGN. So, it's a nice little rivalry, like, makes yourself better in many ways. But yeah, props to everyone who does cover games out there because there's a lot of good folks. It's not just like back in the day, it used to be like, oh, like you can't talk to other news outlets or game websites. But nah, I got love for everyone, man. Like, sad to see US Gamer go. So many talented folks there. Fanbyte is killing it. We're homies with a lot of people at IGN. So a lot of love to go around, but also still a lot of work to be done in the video game space.
Yes, sir. And you're leading that charge, as anyone knows who will follow your social medias. But today we're about to put in some work in the video game space because, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We're gonna talk about some gaming New Year's resolutions because hey, new year, new me, kinda. Wait, new year, new gamer tag. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be right there.
All right.
I don't change my gamer tag. I'm not one of those people. I know there's people who do. Like I remember when the PSN allowed you to change your gamer tag. People are like, "I'm changing it." I'm like, "Nah, man, nah, fam." See, I was smart back in the whatever grade. I was like, "Man, this got to represent me. It's got to represent me and my desire." And I chose something cool. I didn't pick like Dark Angel _73. There's probably a Dark Angel out there. I make fun of them a lot. So Dark Angel _73, shout out to you. If you're real, you can come at me. We can talk about it.
If you're still rocking that after 7th grade, I respect it.
Respect. Speaking of respect, we're gonna be talking about KFC. We got some beef that we gonna talk about, specifically some chicken, but they got a new console and they're doing crazy things in the gaming space, and so are a lot of fast food restaurants. And that is just wild. But to kick this off, we're going to start with the exciting. What are we looking forward to in 2021? We have a lot, people. I mean, a lot of games coming out. A lot of heavy hitters, a lot of indies, a lot of stuff we don't even know about. Hey, Nintendo, what you doing, bro? Because y'all was in 2020. So I'm expecting y'all to come with it in 2021.
They're just gearing up.
Yeah. All right, Michael, tell me what are some of the games you're looking forward to this year?
Ooh, we're starting off hot then. I thought about this a little bit because I've been so focused on like trying to catch up with the games in 2020. So I was like, damn, what am I looking forward to in 2021? So I'll start with if anyone knows me, this is like a wild predictable thing for me to say, is Persona 5 Strikers. So listen, when it comes to me and Persona, I got a lot of love. If y'all know me, it's Persona 5 Royal is one of my favorite games of all time. Persona 4 Golden is definitely up there too, as well as Persona 3. I got a lot of love. I recognize Persona 2 as well. So Persona 1 is all right. And I fuck with Shin Megami Tensei a lot as well. So I know the roots. But so Persona 5 Strikers is basically, if y'all don't know, it's the made by Koei Tecmo. It's the Musou adaptation. So it's an action RPG. But the thing about this game is that it takes a lot of the Persona elements and integrates it into the action gameplay, and more so than other adaptations. Like we've had Hyrule Warriors, we've had Fire Emblem Warriors, and a bunch of like Dynasty Warriors adaptations of other franchises. But I feel like this, like, because I played the Japanese demo. This game's been out in Japan for a year at this point, but it's getting the Western localization release next month, and this is like I think the furthest Koei Tecmo has gone, or in Omega Force, the developers. This is the furthest they've gone to integrate the source material into the game itself, and that's really exciting because like I was playing the demo and the demo's fire, bro. Like because all the things that you liked, like all out attacks, switching personas, elemental abilities, and it just looks cool as fuck. Like because that's a big thing about Persona 5 is how much momentum there is, like how fast it moves, even though it's an RPG, and also just the style and all that. 1000% comes through in what I played so far, Persona 5 Strikers. I'm just like, yo, give me the full game already, man. It also integrates a lot of the social sim elements because that's one of the big things. That's one of the key parts of Persona, and that's why we love those games so much. Is because it takes time to like relax and be like, oh, spend time with your homies, like, and get to know them, and then boost your abilities and like go out and play pool or hang out beach or whatever. So it does take time for you to do those kinds of things. And maybe I wasn't expected at first. I was like, oh, if it was just like a straight action RPG off the rip, like that's cool. But the fact that it's going to that length to, again, integrate things from the source material, like, man, I don't know. It's also coming to Switch too. So, I think if you haven't played P5, they're trying to make it in a way that's that if you haven't played the original Persona 5, like you can still get into it. Of course, a lot of the love is going to get lost if you haven't played the original RPG. But
is the story supposed to be canon?
Yes, big canon. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's sort of like a sequel too, because like Persona games usually don't get sequels. They're just like one-off things, and then they do spin-off stories. So this one is like, yeah, it's a spin-off, but the story itself is actually a continuation of that like timeline. So some of the characters who were seniors in high school back then, they're now in college, and then they're a little bit older this time, but they're still
dope.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of elements that are in this game that I think are going to surprise a lot, that I expect to be surprised by. I tried to stay away. Once it came out in Japan, I was like, all right, I'm going to try and stay away from spoilers. I want to be surprised once it does come to the States. So, man, that's the number one game, and that's coming next month, man. And
I
it's
mean,
also
you sold me. I'm not even a fan of like, warrior style games. Age of Calamity, it was cool. I'm not gonna lie. However, Warriors, the first one, wasn't feeling it. Age of Calamity, I was like, okay, when you integrate the world and story and things, I'm like, all right, now I'm sold on this. So after 202 hours, a Persona 5 Royal, I might check it out. I might check it out. I don't love it like you. You made me relove it all again. But I was just like, because when I saw Strikers was coming to the West, I was like, maybe.
Yeah. I understand that. I understand that feeling too, because it's kind of like, okay, well, what are y'all offering other than being like another one of these Warriors adaptations, which some have been, like you said, like Age of Calamity. Depends on how you view it. Like some people don't fuck with Age of Calamity like that, but if you do, like that's a dope game to have in the world of Breath of the Wild. But man, I'm such a, what do you call it? I'm so easy to, like, I don't know, sell these games on. Like, damn, just give me my weeb shit, and I'm gonna be happy.
You're like I'm there. In a similar vein, probably, I have a list of games I'm looking forward to, but right now, confirmed, because this is the only one confirmed that I'm really looking forward to, is Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I grew up on the good old classic Looney Tunes 90s style cartoons. So you give me an anthropomorphic animal, give me a cute colorful world, I'm there. And honestly, I really miss, like, one of my favorite games last year was Crash 4, because I really miss just like old school N64 days of platformers, mascots, colorful worlds. And as much as I love God of War, as much as I love The Last of Us, as much as I love Metal Gear, I feel like outside of Nintendo and our Mario games, the industry has moved further and further and further and further away from that. And those games, I feel like, are either like an 8-bit nostalgia love letter to the olden days, or maybe like your ukuleles, where it's like, it's kind of there. Nothing against ukulele. It just didn't do it for me personally.
Right.
But when I see like Ratchet and Clank, I'm just like, yes. The dimensions, the shout outs, people are like, oh, maybe was that Jack and Daxter's world? Or they're gonna do like some crazy, like these dimensions are gonna bring back other games. That's just Reddit talking. They're probably not.
Right.
But just I love the rumor mill spilling, and like I would just love like cameos throughout. Like once they do just go to world and Jack and Daxter there, and they're for like a certain world they're there. I was like, oh my, like. So I'm ready. And we got like, female Ratchet, she out there flexing. So that's going to be fun. And I really, again, those games do not get that love anymore, at least not on a big budget scale. And so I like you said, I'm just a sucker for that, Western weeb nonsense, if you will. I don't know what you would call it, like the cartoon worlds, but oh man, that's gonna be a fun one. I'm hoping it's probably gonna be like a 10-hour game, 15 hours up in there. But man, I hope they go all out. Like I would happily spend 60 hours there.
Damn.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's a, now that you pointed out though, like a lot of games are trying to go for that gritty, realistic style storytelling, which has been dope. But man, I can only stomach so much of it in like a certain time frame. Like I wouldn't play God of War, Last of Us, and like Ghost of Tsushima, like all these games that take themselves very seriously, and they're good at it, right? But at some point, I'm like, yo, I want my Sackboy, I want Astro's Playroom, like things like that. But like you said, it's we've had the games like Ukulele, maybe like Hat in Time or whatever, if that's your jam. But it's like these are, I don't want to like downplay the development of those games, but the scale, like at the scale at which like a full AAA studio would go all in on making something like Ratchet and Clank again, like Sly Cooper, like Jack and Daxter, like that's I 1000% agree with you. It's kind of been lost over the years. So I think that makes Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart like even more exciting. And all like from the gameplay we've seen, like how they're integrating a lot of the PS5 tech with like tearing between rifts and changing environments in a like seamlessly, not even a split second. it's all there. It just loads with it like in a less than a split second. And yeah, that's an exciting game because it's also a showcase. This is a PS5 exclusive showing off PS5 tech. And I'm with you on that. You actually got me more hyped for it now that you framed it like that.
I had to return the favor. You got me hyped for a game that was just like cool. So I had to show you my energy.
Yeah.
What got me waking up in the morning because honestly, another game I'm looking forward to is Seasons. Like, we start the game where it's like, I'm not sure what that game is about, but I got like heavy Journey vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I remember before I played Journey, like looking at it, I was like, this is beautiful. I don't know what really is going on. And it gave me like just a sensation. Like, you just get like this wave of like, I don't know what this is, but I get, like the hair standing up on your arm sensation. I don't know what that's called. But like, I got that same type of sensation from watching the Seasons trailer when I watched the Journey trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, I don't know, it's something just about it, just, girl on a bike. And it's that air of mystery of, I don't really know what this is, but it makes me feel good. So, I'm, shout out to Seasons. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. That was definitely one of the big surprises, or I mean, one of the standout announcements, I'd say, at Game Awards, because like you mentioned that sense of mystery, and I feel like that's another thing that kind of gets lost on games today. Because like when something gets announced, shit, I know how it is. Like we want to know everything about it straight up, because that's also what we do. Like we do for game coverage. Like we try and dig and dig and dig, try and hit up developers. Like, what's this game about? Give me all the details and all this. But as someone who just enjoys games and just wants to like be surprised and buy games that I don't know much about, like that's definitely like the vibe I'm getting from Season. And they have like more information about like what it's about on its like official website, because I looked into it big time. You know me, I like to be surprised, but then I'm like digging into it, like, how does this game play? What's it about? But there's still like they're not putting it all on the table. So I think that's it's like about civilizations and like ancestors and cultures being lost to time and things like that. So it's a fascinating fascinating pretense for the game. So I'm also 100% with you on that.
Cool. Let me ask you this: what about? Okay, so we all know the AAA titles. We're getting Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Gotham Knights, Halo Infinite, etc. So out of all the AAA titles, because I mean, let's be real, we're probably excited for all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm more excited about Gotham Knights than anything, just because I like a change of pace. I feel like these other games I've been playing nonstop since they came out. But out of all the AAA titles, even if I didn't listen, what's the one that you're like, all right, no, this is the AAA where you always have your games like, I'm gonna play these eventually, but this one gets out of the way backlog. Out of the way, the 3 games that came out on the same day. I'm playing this.
Well, all right. So I think that the one game that's kind of on the horizon that I don't know. I don't even think it's going to be a 2021 game. So I don't know is that cool? Like,
yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I highly doubt it's coming.
Cyberpunk has taught us dates mean nothing.
Hey, yeah, big facts, man. Yeah, big facts on that. But the one that I'm like, I don't care what's in my backlog. I don't care what just came out. It's Final Fantasy 16 because my guy, listen, so it's funny. A bunch of people clowned on me for this, and I kind of don't care. But it was me, Timur, and Lucy we were doing a live stream, like a pre and post show for the Sony for the PS5 reveal event, and that's when Final Fantasy 16 was revealed. And I was watching that trailer, and I was like, "Yo, is this Final Fantasy? Is this Final Fantasy?" And like you see all the signs of like, oh, there's chocobos, oh, there's summons, they're called icons, oh, it's Shiva, that's Titan, that's Ifrit, that's Phoenix. And then the music kicks in where it's Final Fantasy music, but you don't know for sure. And then you hear the crystal prelude, the pregio that every Final Fantasy game has. And at that moment, it all clicked together, and I just fucking lost my shit. I was in tears. I was in real ass tears, bro. Like, I'm not playing with you. And like the development team behind Final Fantasy 16 are the folks behind Final Fantasy 14. And finally, if anyone knows anything about me, like I am I love Final Fantasy 14 with all my heart. It is like my 1A to 1B favorite game of all time next to Persona 5 Royal. And that development team is I don't want to say they're overlooked because Final Fantasy 14 is a wildly successful MMORPG, but a lot of people do write it off in terms of being a Final Fantasy game because it is an MMORPG. But if folks actually like spend time with it and play it all the way through, they realize that like the storytelling chops are up there with the best of them. And I feel like Final Fantasy 16 is that team being like, now's our time to like shine for other people who might not know what we're about. And I think that's the part that really got me all like choked up and teared up, is because like it's like seeing, that's my squad. Those are my people. My people are on the big stage, and they're gonna come out with this game, and everyone's gonna figure out like why we love them, what they're all about. And I think that's part of my excitement too. Just like I can't wait to see what they got cooking up, because them folks, they know how to tell a really intriguing story. They're really good at taking tropes and putting really big spins on them to like surprise you in a way. So a lot of people look at the trailer and might think, oh, this is some typical fantasy type stuff with like medieval stylings, and yeah, it's doing like some Final Fantasy bullshit with like summons and all that. I'm like, yeah, but listen, the folks behind this they will surprise you with those, or I hope I'm willing to bet that they will surprise us with that, because that's what they've been doing with Final Fantasy 14. So that's the short of it. But yeah, whenever that game comes, folks have been saying it's been in development for a lot longer than we might think. So I do think and like that team, they don't mess around when it comes to production timelines. They're not ones to put things off, because making Final Fantasy 14, they have to abide by a strict schedule because it's a live service and MMO style of game. So hopefully that kind of I guess that those habits they have in the past also come through, because like Final Fantasy games and Square Enix joints are known to be delayed. Who knows when it's coming, and then it's kind of like incomplete when it does come out. But this development team, they don't mess around like that. So I have high hopes for the game, and that's the one. Like I don't care what else anyone's playing or talking about. Obviously, like Final Fantasy 16 is going to be a huge game that's going to take over headlines, but your boy's going to be at the forefront of those conversations. That is discourse that I am going to insert myself in when the time comes.
Oh man, no. I mean, I'm with you because so I haven't played all the Final Fantasies. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. But I've played I played the ones that everyone says you play. I played 4 and or 6, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
I played all the modern ones. I've played pretty much everyone from like 10 until now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say I'm not a fan of 10 or 10-2. I don't know what people see in that game.
I respect it.
I don't like. I played 13. That's another one. I'm just, I don't know what it is about 13. Didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me.
No, I respect it. I think this kind of goes back to something you mentioned last episode. Shouts out to Josh Boykin.
Ooh, by the way, shout out Josh.
That episode was fire. And and also y'all were talking about how you were talking about like with Hades, particularly, where like everyone's buzzing about it, but you're not vibing with it. But also like sometimes it's just not for you. Like you realize when games aren't for you. Like that's just not. You're not gonna vibe with everything that everyone else likes. So if someone comes at me and be like, "Oh, like I don't really fuck with Final Fantasy like you," I'm like, "Yo, I respect. I can understand why people don't vibe with those games. And that's perfectly fine, man. Like,
but the story has a happy ending though.
Why you love Hades now?
No, I don't love Hades.
Okay.
So I played 15, right?
Uh-huh.
I thought it was amazing.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in 15, but I was like, the story got me. The ending was beautiful. Still to this day, I'm like, best logo reveal of any game. That was super fly high. Did that, like how you beat the game. Okay, I think it's safe to spoil if you haven't played. If you haven't played Final Fantasy, cover your ears. But you beat the game, everyone's dead, and then like I forgot her name's not Luna, but
it is. It is Luna, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is Luna died? The logo changes to her, and then you see Noxus sitting next to her, and it says the whole, in the Final Fantasy artwork theme of the logo, and I was like, oh man, that was chef's kiss.
Yeah, chills, man, chills.
Yeah, and so I love that so much. I was like, let me go back and play Final Fantasy 8 because people always are on. And I was like, oh god, yes, 8. I can see why people think 8 is better than 7. I was like,
8
okay. I was like, all right, Final Fantasy. Okay, then I was like, you know what? I'm rocking with this Final Fantasy vibe. I went and then I was just like, all right, so that's when I played the rest of the 3D ones. I did 9, and then I did 10 and 10-2. And I was like, you know what? I'm starting to love this universe. I'm not gonna lie. I see everything you say about 14. I don't know if I have the literal time to invest in an MMO. Like you talk about, like, I remember recently there was a story expansion, or I don't know, something. It was with something with some girls. I don't know the characters. And you're like, oh man, it had you weeping. And I was like, damn, I'm such a sucker for stories like that. Like, I wish there was just like here's the bits, like, here's what you got to do. But like, I was like, man. And so what you're saying is making me happy that the team from 14, hopefully they bring all those chops into a standard game. And I've tried to get in MMOs before. Okay, but let me back to the one. I'm not really a big PC gamer. Like, I'm just not. Like, my WASD is like trash. but so I'm excited just to round that off. Because again, it was like 15 clicked. I played 8, which I don't think I'm enough Final Fantasy stan to be in it's the greatest Final Fantasy ever category, because people are going to start talking about games and other, and I'm like, well, I mean, I only played, leave me alone. But
you don't want to get yourself involved in that, right?
Yeah, but 8 was so good that I wish I played it before I played Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, yeah.
Because like when I saw like Leon Squall, I was just like, oh, who's these scrubs? Know who these characters are? Like, no, that's what I thought, and I was like, damn. Like, honestly, I feel like because the Final Fantasy 8 characters were like the main characters outside of like the main group, and now like after playing that game, I'm like, man, y'all wasted that.
Damn,
and there was a lot y'all could have did with that.
Yeah, but hey, Final Fantasy 8 is different. Like that game went like kind of experimental with like some of its mechanics and some of its storytelling too. And I think that's why so many people like mess with it on that level. But yeah, it's good. It's kind of wild that like hearing that 15 is the one that kind of like turned you around as a whole, because like a lot of people. So a lot of Final Fantasy stans, I guess, for lack of a better word, went into 15, and like I like 15, but there was a good chunk of the people who were like, yo, this ain't it. Like, we don't fuck with this game for some reason. And I see why. Like, especially for me, though, like the front half of that game was kind of like, well, what are we doing here? Like, who are y'all? Like, I kind of like that they just thrust you into this group of people and you just gotta like roll with them. I do think that's bold if that was their intention. But for the first half, I'm like, this isn't like the fantastical storytelling that we're kind of used to. But that game ramps up, especially if you play the DLCs that go along with it. That game ramps up fast, or not fast. It ramps up in a way I kind of didn't expect, and it really seals the deal as like a proper Final Fantasy game towards the end. Like, especially when you mentioned like how it ends.
Yeah.
Boy, oh my god.
I think for me is what, since I wasn't the biggest stan at that point, it was just kind of like, as someone in the industry, sometimes you play games just so you can be part of the conversation, so you can have a informed, educated opinion. So that's kind of where I was with it. But it was one of those games, and there's a lot of games like this that, like, after you beat it and reflect, you realize just how great it was. And to me, I feel like what made Final Fantasy 15 to me great was when the moment, like once the ending happened and I felt the emotions I did, it was because it made you feel like, okay, so in games, it's like, this is your friend, this is your friend, this is your friend. Yeah, we're all friends. But this game just made you do friend stuff, like just regular friend shit without like any context. It was like, why are we chilling eating in this diner, bro? Because someone was hungry. That's why we here. Like, that's something that happens in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that game makes you do so much of that. So when stuff starts happening, it gives you that. you know, I don't want to say games force you into friendships. It's just like you understand, like I put myself in this narrative. Oh, this is Jin Kao. You know, he's been my best friend since I was 14. And yeah, I love this dude. And I love him over the course of the game. But this was just like, no, these are your for real buds. Y'all are just doing buddy stuff. And like you said, I played the DLCs and it was even more like, oh man, really?
Yeah.
Oh, ouch. But it did it for me because I don't know. It was one of those things where I feel like if I would have played as they came out, I would have loved the series better. But since I was jumping in after the fact, I couldn't see all, the greatness that it was. And real quick before we go off, I want to say my most anticipated game, like you, is the game that hasn't been confirmed to come out, but the next Pokemon game, the next mainline series, because I have high expectations. It better be good. Same with Pokemon Snap, and then asterisk, everything Nintendo has not given me. My Metroid Prime 4, where you at?
Oh my god! Don't get me started.
My new Mario Kart, where you at? Legend of Zelda: Age of the Elders, which people keep calling that game that. I've seen nowhere where they released this name, but Reddit has convinced me that Breath of the Wild 2 is called Land of the Elders or something to that effect.
Yeah,
I don't know where that came from. Basically, my most anticipated game of 2021 is Nintendo. Just write Nintendo on the wall and
the next big Nintendo thing, whichever one comes first. And it sure as hell ain't Metroid Prime 4. You hate to see it. Oh my god, I love Metroid Prime so much, man. Yo, so like real quick, like E3 2017 with the like that 15 second reveal of the logo. I lost my shit, man. Like,
I did too.
It was just like Metroid Prime 4. That's it. Keep it moving. And I was like, yo, it's like, did y'all see that? Metroid Prime 4? Y'all don't understand. Like Metroid Prime, man. Like, yo. And then they were like, well, who knows when we'll see it?
who knows when we'll, for a second there was this rumor again on Reddit that I'm so happy because I started to believe it. They were like, Miyamoto died and Nintendo isn't telling nobody. That's what's going on. For real, that was like, it was a serious thing. And I was like, it was one of those things, 2020 was a weird place. I was like, oh my God.
It's like, that's like Assassin's Creed out here. Like everything is permitted.
Yeah, and then he came out in the Nintendo Land video, and I was like, "Whew, thank God!" I didn't think he was, but I just needed a visual confirmation.
I don't know, it's camera tricks, man. Who knows? They have hologram people out here, so you can never trust.
So speaking of tricks, why is Casey out here tricking the game industry?
I don't know, man.
For those who are not in the know, that means pimping. That means KFC is pimping us out. Weirder tricks.
Hey, tell us what the deal is with this KFC thing, because I've had to keep my eye on it just because we moved in this space, but I'm just shaking my head, man.
All right, for y'all who don't know, KFC is coming out with a new game console called the KF console. The C in console and the C in KFC are shared. So it's not the KFC console, it's the KF console. Get that straight right off the back. Don't want no confusion here. And so what the KF console can do is, okay, I don't know if it's like a computer. It doesn't say what games or how it's going to work, but it's got computer specs.
Yeah, as I understand it, I think it's like a pre-built PC.
Yeah, that's how I'm taking it too. But this bad boy got your NVIDIA chips, 1 terabyte SSD, VR ready, ray tracing. What's up, PS5? Ray tracing, man, 4K capabilities. Man, it is. Oof, bro, what are you talking about? It's got 240 FPS on all capital A, capital L, capital L games, bro. Fluid, high frame rate gameplay, bro. How you ever had a console this finger clicking good?
Is that like one of their taglines?
Yeah, it's their tagline. But that's not all. That's not all, people. It has a patented, first ever built-in chicken chamber. What is a chicken chamber, you ask? You pull out a tray, you put your chicken in it, and I assume anything else that you need to keep warm. Thank you for the illustration. And it uses, how your console, your PC, they get hot. Well, it takes that thermal energy and warms your food. I mean, this sounds like a horrible fire hazard in some weird way, I don't know where the chicken grease goes, or I got questions about that. But the point is, let's say you got some pizza rolls, right? Because I bought pizza rolls for the first time in like a decade. And you gaming, right? And you're like, damn, man, I got my pizza rolls out the oven, but they'll get cold. Not anymore. You put them in the KF console.
Just put them right. You can just like pull out that tray, pluck out pizza rolls when you want them, and put them back in. They stay. I assuming they stay warm the entire time.
All right, but we got hater Mikey Mike here, hating on all things that's good, bro. What you told me earlier? What is your beef with the chicken?
I'm not a fan of KFC chicken. All right, if you are, that's cool. Hey, more power to you. But those 11 herbs and spices, like for what? Because it's not just the herbs and spices; it's how you fry your chicken. It's also how you serve the chicken too. Because I don't think I've ever had KFC like, whether it's like drumsticks or whole chicken breasts or whatever. Like them things always come soggy, and like I don't know, the quality of the chicken is like kind of dry on the inside. And as I've learned throughout time, as I was able to expand my horizons of different restaurants that serve fried chicken, such as Church's and Popeyes, which are staples from where I grew up, especially, oh my God, Church's chicken. I don't know if any of y'all out there had Church's before, but Church's is S tier. Church's is untouched. And then Jollibee is also a staple of Filipinos. So I like Jollibee because I got a rep for the culture, and also it's good chicken. I would say A tier, but Church's, but KFC, that's like D tier. Like they need to put in some work in terms of their chicken. So I understand why KFC is the one to be doing this, because they're the biggest brand, of course, and they have some fuck you money, and this is what they're doing with it, right? So I understand why they would want to do this, but I'm just looking at this, shaking my head, man. Like this is just a wild flex.
All right, so here's my chicken tier. Like if Chick-fil-A starts selling fried chicken, it'll probably be God tier, but they don't. And we're recording this on Sunday, and after I woke up from a nap that me and Michael talked about earlier, I wanted some Chick-fil-A so bad, but they're closed. I cried. Anyway, moving on. So here's the thing about KFC for me. KFC is like middle of the road. It's like if I'm driving somewhere, from point A to point B, and then like I'm on the, it's like, next stop, there's a KFC. That's cool. That's cool. I only eat their chicken strips, because I'm not a big fan of their chicken, because like that fried, like I don't know how they're like the bag of chips of chicken. How do I have so much skin with no meat under it? Like I don't understand what's going on in that frying process. But the chicken strips, but the chicken strips are fire to me. I don't know why. But there is a KFC by where my mom lives. Like how there's a fast food restaurant chain that's always kind of trash, but there's that one where they must be following the recipe exact. Like how they train them or whatever. Mm-hmm. That KFC is fire, and I always get the like you can get your stuff tossed in like a barbecue or the spicy hot or whatever. So I always get like the spicy hot chicken tenders or the spicy hot chicken little, and it was always fire, like perfectly coated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but then I guess the manager left, for those high school kids, graduated or something, because now it's trash. Like, like when you get something tossed in the sauce and then like half of it's on the chicken, the other half's like just collected in one corner, and the other half's just regular. Like that's how it comes now. So I was upset. Damn. But in 2019, I went to Japan for TGS, right? Had Japanese fried chicken for the first time. Killed the game. I was like, I need to bring their secrets back home to the community, because this don't make no sense. Yeah. This don't make no sense. And the Japanese people, they serve their portions reasonably sized, like for a regular sized human being, like the one serving. I went to a restaurant, they must thought I was just the biggest fat ass on the planet, because I swear I had to get like 5 servings. I'm like, no, I'm from America, bro. Like this is like the kid portion, and this is too good to be doing this to me. Like I'm not here for a Happy Meal. Yeah, I don't care if it's 400 yen or whatever. Like give me some more. And then here's the fun part. I went to a KFC in Japan. I'm not gonna lie, I ate at a KFC, a Burger King, a Wendy's, because for the novelty of it, because the menus are wildly different. And so I went to the KFC, and the KFC, because I stayed across from the Sky Tree If anyone's familiar with Japan, I had an apartment across from there. And so when I walked into KFC, they had a sign displayed said, "We proudly only serve Japanese chicken." And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I mean, I would assume you're not importing chickens from elsewhere. I mean, but whatever, right? And I see why that sticker is on the window. Let me just put it like that.
Was it good?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, it was so good. I couldn't even call it KFC at that point.
Yeah, something completely different. Huh?
Like, I mean, it was chicken, but it was like, bruh. I mean, it wasn't good as the fried chicken that I had from like the actual restaurants.
Yeah,
but it was still top tier.
Mm-hmm. Did it still have like the same like flavor profile though, of like the herbs and spices or something?
No,
or was it like flavor?
It didn't at all. So like, it was So I'm not an expert chef, but you know how like when you fry something where it almost looks grilled, but with the skin over it, like it has like a very minimum layer of skin.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, where I was like, oh, very minimum layer of skin, very like it didn't have a crunch to it, but it was crisp, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Their sides were garbage though. I guess there was no. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if they're trying to like, they still have like mashed potatoes and corn and stuff. I don't know if the Japanese people just don't really, mess with that like that. But they were straight garbage. But it was okay because the chicken was good. Like I just got like, like mashed potatoes and whatever corn or something. And I was just like, oh, this is not it. Like this is probably like something KFC corporate ships over.
Okay.
And they're just like,
I'll take care of the chicken, but we'll ship you overnight all the sides, and that's why the trash, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like and you know how they do different recipes for different cultures, countries, regions, and so forth. To try to appeal to the native population so they'll like it. Like the formulas for soft drinks are different if you go to other places. I think Coke is one of the few ones where it's uniformly the same no matter where you go. But yeah, the size were But yeah, gaming and chicken. You know what I find? There's a bigger story here that I don't think people are realizing, because KFC did some, depending on your perspective, some interesting things in the gaming space before. I don't know if you remember the "I Love You, Colonel Sanders" dating sim. Yeah,
I just remember right now. Yup, I like. We had a podcast episode about this fucking game, but I mean, one side of the conversation was like KFC is appropriating, I guess, like a whole genre of games that are traditionally not Western, and they're falling into a bunch of these tropes to market KFC chicken in a way. But the second side of it is like, I mean, I don't want to say I respect it, but I definitely see what y'all are doing here, and I'm gonna play this free game because, like, let's keep it a buck. It's advertising, trying to reach out to a different crowd. So, like, they were thinking, they're like, this weeb crowd probably don't fuck with KFC like we want them to. So how about we reach out to them, meet them in the middle, and try and do something that they would probably be into. So in that regard, I'm like, okay, I see. I want to be in these meetings, for one. Two, let me write for it so I can make it, the best product it can be. Hey, hit me up. My DMs is open. But yeah, that shit was kind of wild.
It was. I mean, it worked because like I say, you're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
When that game came out, we were all like, "No, this can't be real." And like, I dabbled in the game. Like, I play like the free Steam. Steam has like a little thing where you can test drive a game, I guess, if you will. Because I wasn't gonna buy it, but I was like, I'll test drive it. And I was like, oh, this is serious. It's taking itself. It's not like the BK game, if you remember that back in the day. You got the free Xbox game at BK. That game was straight trash because I did get that game. But this game, despite it being stereotypical, like you said, it takes itself serious in the regard like it's a dating sim.
Yeah.
What's the one where you're a pigeon? It's just as good as that game, if not better.
Hotful boyfriend.
Hotful boyfriend.
Yeah, hey, you're gonna start some discourse.
Hey, my DMs are always open. Hey, keyboard warriors out there, I want all the smoke.
Hey, we can take it.
I'm gonna put this out here in the universe. Like, my dad taught me how to defend myself, so there ain't a with a keyboard that can scare me. That's all I'm gonna say.
I like this energy.
Meet me in the streets, people. You know what I'm saying? But there's something interesting going on because if you remember, a couple of months ago, like 2, 3, Wendy's had their partnership with Uber Eats with the Never Stop Gaming campaign. I don't know if you knew about this, but yeah, Wendy's, it was called Never Stop Gaming. They had 5 streamers stream for 24 hours, and each of these streamers has their own Wendy's combo that you can order on Uber Eats. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Hey, I hope the bag was nice because streaming for 24 hours. Oh my god!
It was split between the 5 of them.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, okay, y'all are gonna have to go 24 hours, and we'll give you like $500 and a bunch of free meals. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it was a Tfue, Flight, Itafu, Choco Bars. Y'all, man, I'm serious, man. If I ever come like a real stream, I'm using my real name. I can't with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an AKA.
Nah, I'm like, yo, it's Odell, bro. You know what you're getting. But yeah, they all had a meal, and I just find it interesting that this advertising, with just gaming stuff in general, because you gotta remember, we think it's cool, we're operating, but one of the things I always remember is when BK gave away the golden Pokemon cards.
Oh,
and you see how excited you just got?
Because it was a big, it was like this size. You open it up, and it was a gold-plated card, and it came in like a plastic case, and it sat right inside the Pokemon. Yo,
yes. And you see how excited you got, and you still remember that? Like, yes, I know, bro. I lost mine. It's one of my deepest childhood regrets. Honestly, I think my mom just gave it away to my little cousin. She don't want to tell me. I know you don't listen, Mom, but if you listening, I know. It's okay. It's okay. But
that was like because that was around the time I think the Pokemon movie came out, because it was year 2000. Because that's when I had mad Pokemon cards. I was playing Pokemon Blue, fucking Red, Yellow, and then Gold and Silver was out, and I was just like mad into Pokemon. And I had like the card from when you go see the Pokemon movie, and they gave out the free, I think it was like a free Mewtwo card or something, and then that gold-plated thing. Because I had I think I had like 2 of them shits, and like I just open them up and look at them. It's like, damn.
And they were really detailed, man. It's just. And I think now that kids these days are gonna remember, like, man, yo, you remember when Wendy's did the Twitch thing with the streamers? And I got the bro, I froze my Tfue meal. And remember when KFC had it's not the same. But what I think is interesting, that gaming is defining the culture in so many ways. Like, it's a never-ending conversation how, when I go to the barbershop and I tell them like I do game stuff, they're still like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. It don't make no sense. Is that like Madden? And I'm like, I mean, yes, it's like Madden. But gaming culture is just really taking over just so many different facets. And the fact that, KFC just may be ahead of its time, honestly, because I don't see this trend stopping. Like, KFC made a freaking console. Like, that's just insane.
I guess when you put it that way, it's because what essentially KFC is doing is putting out a custom built PC. And like, it's, if different brands can sponsor custom built PCs, like, I get it. Like, if there's a bag to be had there, I'm sure that, like, if KFC is the first one to do it, they saw ahead of everyone else. So like, you go to Cyberpower PC, you can get one custom built there, or Origin, like all these different other brands. But what if you get the KFC one? What if you get the Jack in the Box one that's like shaped like the Jack in the Box logo or something, that's like you can grab it like a handle or some shit? Like, I'm putting these ideas out to the universe, and I'm getting $0 from it. So I need to stop. I'm gonna show my ass up right now.
But yeah, man, it was I don't know, man. Just it's crazy to think about. When gaming culture and real life culture, I don't know what you want to call it, IRL culture, hip hop culture, whatever, the culture of the world. This is where the beams cross to me, because as a gamer, I'm always like, we always know about the game stuff. We're like, yeah, and then people are like, have you heard of Fortnite? It's like, bro. Yes, But when Fortnite added the Jabberwockies dance routine as one of like the little dance, I was like, all right, bro, y'all, okay, we done oh man,
Travis Scott concerts up in there.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, man, what? I was like, it's hard for me to be surprised when gaming stuff does stuff with other things I love, but that was just that blew my mind.
Yeah, it's wild.
And this conversation, we're not about to have it, but people have it all the time. It's just, when is the rest of the world just gonna catch up with us? Because they're still on like that. Oh, you play Mario? I'm like, bruh, what you talking about? Like,
once we become the old heads, like we're in our late 20s or early 30s or something. So
I turned 30.
Once we become the old heads, then it's kind of like, all right, so back in my day, we was playing like Counter-Strike, we was playing Final Fantasy 14 and shit like that. So then we're gonna be imparting that on the youngins. And then so gaming is going to transcend our tastes like in 20 to 30 years, and then we'll be the ones like fucking like, hey bro, back in my day, oh shit, like this Fortnite shit, like y'all didn't even know what it was. That you ever played Save the World, that horde mode that it had? And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like that was the OG Fortnite. What do you know about that?
Bro, I'm already there. Over Thanksgiving, my little cousin, she's 10. And I have 3 cousins on my mom's side. One is 22, the other 2 are 10. Big age disparity there. But so my little cousin was like, she was like, Dale, you like games, right? You game all the time. And I was like, yeah. She's like, you want to game with me? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, she was like, so you got Roblox on your phone, right? And I'm like, no. She's like, I thought you gamed. I'm like, what?
That's what the kids are playing. They love their Roblox.
They love Roblox. And in my mind, when she looked at me and gave me that, I thought you played games. It was like,
she looked at you from head to toe, right? She was like the fuck?
And I'm like, you want to talk about playing games? Have you heard of Yoshi's Island? Have you heard of Super Mario World? You want to talk about Sonic 2? Well, I mean,
what you know about Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, what you want to talk about? Name 5 games right now. Like, I never felt so insulted, bro. Like, I swear. Think of like the sassiest little kid with barrettes in the hair that you can imagine, and imagine getting looked up and down, being like, "Do you play games?" It's like, because you don't got Roblox on your phone. I mean, I was heated. Like, I'm not about to argue my little, but there was something inside of me that way. If she was older, that conversation went completely different.
You just like get hung up on it. It's like, what's like, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I have 100% know what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'm already, I got nothing against Roblox. I'm not gonna play it. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I've seen it in action. I'm not. I mean,
it's not
just
for
not. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's just weird. And you hear, all the stuff. You remember like how Pokemon is like the it thing now. And I remember, elementary was cool, middle school kinda, high school you're a social outcast if you do it. College kinda cool again. People are like it's weird because people who know me, like you with your fun fan, know I love Pokemon. I love Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's weird nowadays. People like, oh, you like Pokemon, right? You play Pokemon? I'm like, yeah, I play Pokemon. Oh, what level are you in Pokemon Go? Like, people's, the commoner, if you will, playing Pokemon is Pokemon Go. And I'm like, bro, it's a whole nother world out there, bro. You don't even know about.
Yeah, because there are like things like Pokemon Go, Roblox, Fortnite. Those are the things that are pervasive. Like, they don't, because a lot of the games that we love and enjoy also like, oh, gotta play on PS4, gotta play on Xbox, you need Switch or something. But like a lot of these games, you either play on phones or just any computer has like super low required specs. Like, you could play Fortnite on a 10-year-old computer, I bet, or Roblox you play on 10-year-old computer. It doesn't like some HP shit that your parents bought how long ago. You could still play those games on there, and like kids are just be like, oh, that's what I can play. Well, I'm gonna play it. Or I got a phone. You got any games on your phone? you know what I'm talking about with that. So like those are the games that kind of have the broadest reach. So for us we're like, no, like you got to play God of War. You got to play that Persona. You know what I'm saying? Those games. But then I have to take a step back and be like, I can't be like, we can't be gatekeeping just because like kids
can't
like
have the pinkies out. Like,
yeah, I don't want to be like that. But though I try and stop myself because I do have tendencies. I'm just like, oh, wait, hold up. That stuff is just not for me. And then maybe I can like find a parallel if I'm talking to like a young, be like, oh, you like Roblox? Well, try out like Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
I feel like Minecraft is the next logical step, right?
Yeah. And then from there, it's like, okay, now you're gonna play Counter-Strike. That's the
I am that guy at the family reunion. If you've ever seen the memes, it's like I think it's the Tom and Jerry meme where like Tom's looking evil. It's like when you hear like the little kids playing like Street Fighter, Smash, Tekken. It's like, and I think that's cool because back in the day, it used to be like, oh, you playing basketball outside? You come out there, let me.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, you playing Smash? Oh man, let me show you these perfect dodges real quick. Counter,
You're crossing up 10-year-old kids in Smash Bros.
Exactly, man. Times have changed, man.
Hey, I feel you on that.
Hey, I still remember the day I got clowned when I thought I was, good at a game, and then I played like, my uncle and realized I wasn't good at nothing.
Oh,
like
no.
I was talking so much trash on Street Fighter 2 Turbo, just like so much. And then he just like bodied me so hard. Like, you do that little kid thing where like you're crying, but you're not crying.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hear it in your voice. You're a little choked up, but you don't want to show it because your dad taught you to act hard or whatever.
Yeah.
I definitely feel you on that. Like, yeah, yeah. I had that moment with like old Counter-Strike because I only played online. Then like my friends from middle school were like really, really good, and I thought I was as good as them. And then they bodied me, and they were like, "What the? I thought you played this game." And I'm like, "Listen, man, like you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying. I'm trying. You know what I'm saying?"
Oh man, you know what I've learned? So I've gotten a lot better at Smash, but I learned real quick to never tell no one you're good at Smash.
Yeah,
like that's a sentence you should never utter in public.
Yeah. If you get your ass beat, it's like, oh, good game. Like, I never said I was going to beat your ass. So, keep your expectations low. You know what I'm saying?
Moral of the story.
Yep.
But the switch gears, let's keep our expectations high.
Yes.
What are some of your gaming resolutions to end this year on a bright note for the future? Big or small, professional, not professional, life, love life. I don't know, maybe not love life. I don't know how that would work.
I'm married to the game. When it comes to personal like gaming resolutions, I think that there's finding the motivation or drive to I love RPGs. I love RPGs. It's my favorite JRPG specifically. Like my bread and butter. There's nothing I love more in games than a good JRPG. And but those games do take kind of you need to motivate yourself. You need to set aside the time because they are time investments over a course of a 70 or 80-hour game. Not every single hour of it is going to be the most exciting thing. But I need to remember the feeling that you get when you finally finish the whole thing. Like we were talking about earlier, when you stop and reflect and like, damn, that journey was wild. Like there was just nothing like that. I tried to do that over the break a little bit, catching up on some RPGs that I always wanted to play, but never found the motivation to, like Dragon Quest XI. And Trails of Cold Steel is a series that I like a lot. But there are like 4 games and then 3 other games and then 2 other games on top of that. So it's like not trying to get overburdened with the kind of the breadth of these games, not thinking about like, oh, there's going to be 200 hours that I need to invest. Instead, just telling myself, I'm going to sit down and spend some time with this game and just enjoy it for what it is. I think being in like games media is kind of, you're short on time. You always have to move to the next thing. Whatever is the hottest thing right now, you need to be in on it. You need to play that now. You need to play a lot of it so you can be in on those conversations. And next week, it's going to be the next big game, or the next month is going to be the next big game. And no one's going to be talking about that thing. They're going to be talking about this new thing. So I've kind of had a habit of, putting off games that take a long time to get into. But this year, I think one thing I want to do to kind of keep my sanity, or like not let the hobby, because our hobbies are also our jobs, and an important thing to stay in love with your hobby is to know when to separate it from your work, which is a hard thing to do. But I want to do that, so where like, okay, now I'm just playing this game because I want to, rather than like playing a game and thinking about what am I going to write about it. different mindset. I mean, I like doing that about games. I like going into a game like I'm going to dig through this thing and like figure out how I'm going to cover it, the different things I want to cover about it. And especially I love doing reviews, but those are all like very time consuming and they're mentally draining in a different way. So I think that's something I want to figure out for the new year. Definitely help out with that. In terms of like gaming as a career, I've been I feel like everyone tries streaming. It's like the cool thing to do, or it's like the thing that everybody wants to do, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, go check out my stream." And then I kind of stayed away from it because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want it to feel like I'm being opportunistic. And I feel like there's like already like so many great streamers out there, like legit that do entertaining streams. And I'm like, why would y'all watch me when you can go watch them? And I was always be intimidated by that, but I did start like taking it kind of seriously over the break. And I think it's been a lot of fun because it's a different way, especially in this world today where I don't get to talk to nobody and things like that. It's been a nice way to socialize because like a lot of the people who show up to the streams are like people that I know, and then like people that or I've interacted with already on Twitter. So I think like finding a way to also balance streaming because that can feel like work sometimes, just because you have to juggle so many different things to where like half your focus is actually the game. Another half of your focus is making sure the stream is straight and also interacting with the people who show up. Because like, if y'all going to spend time with me, I owe it to you to like interact with you because like I appreciate you being here and I want to make sure like, you know, it's like hosting a party. And like every year, like back in my hometown, I always have like wild birthday parties where I invite like, all the homies, all the homegirls come through, and I just like I want to talk to everyone. I'm just like going to each group and like, oh hey, y'all good? Y'all need a drink? Y'all need more food or something? What can I do better? Also, how you been? Like, it's been a while since we talked. Tell me about you, and all other shit. So, yeah, that's definitely that's another thing that I want to try and do for like is taking streaming seriously, but also making sure it doesn't interfere with my professional life, I guess, or detract from my enjoyment of games. Yeah. That's how I'm feeling.
I feel that 150%. I tried streaming this year, and one of the things I found I saw the true difficulty in it is like you said, your focus is split, and that's really hard to be playing a game. Cause like I did it with Pokemon, right? And that went really well. And I was like, oh, because Pokemon's turn based and I can just click, talk about the moves, be the predictions and stuff. And I started streaming Ghost of Tsushima and it's like, bro, a cutscene is playing. Okay, I gotta pay attention. Okay, I'm fighting. Okay, crap, I'm looking bad for the stream because I'm sucking. Oh, what's that? And then like I swear like 30 minutes went by, I didn't say a word. And I was like, oh crap, man,
I forgot to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
not easy. And I think trying it myself is like I've grown to have a different appreciation for people who are very, very good at it. And also when I watch other people, I'm noticing how they're doing it and like why they're good at it and taking cues from them. Like it's kind of like just watching, like professionals in sports and then just being like, oh, I want to do a crossover like that. Oh shit, that's how he pulls up for a jumper. Oh shit, I want to try that on the court next time. It's kind of like that. And I mean, not to like gas myself up, but I think I'm pretty good at it because it is like hosting a party, and I've like I feel like I'm a really good host at parties. Like like I said, I want to talk to everybody. I want to chop it up, but I want to make sure everyone's good. And I'm genuinely interested. I'm like, oh, like I said, how you been? Like, I want to know about you. It's been a while since we talked. And that's kind of like my mentality and my approach to streaming. And also just, making sure that you're not just watching a game, but I'm also like trying to break down what I'm playing and like giving insight, making sure I'm entertaining the folks, but also that myself, I'm having a good time. Because if I'm not having a good time, it's unsustainable. So those are a lot of things that I'm thinking about. I'm not trying to like break out and be this big star or whatever. It's just, I don't know. It lets me kind of share some things I wouldn't have been able to otherwise and interact with people in different ways.
That's dope. One of my resolutions is something I've already accomplished. Set goals you can accomplish, as they say, and then get your long-term goals. I want to get a gaming chair because I'm tired of sitting in this $20 chair from Walmart that hurts my back after a while. So I went all out, and at the New Year's, I bought me a Secret Labs chair. So yeah, about to have me that Omega Ash, and then once I get that, bro, I'm gonna be a pro streamer. I'm gonna be streaming, I'm gonna be gaming. Like it's game over. GG's. This chair's gonna change my life.
Real talk though, like if you sit in a chair for like most of your day, that shit better be nice. Like it's kind of like investing in a bed too. It's like I'm gonna spend like 6 to 8 hours a day in this bed, so I need to get something that's high quality because I'm gonna be using it a whole lot. So it is like a really good like a gaming chair. That's a good investment. Like real talk.
Dope. And one of my other personal game, like the competitive games I play, I want to get like S tier level. So like, for example, in Pokemon competitive battling, I'm probably like A rank. You know what I'm saying? Like I can definitely consider myself A rank, no problems. But I want to be like S rank. I want like 80% win record type of stuff. Right now, usually at the end of the season, I usually fall between the 60 and 70 percentile. Like my goal is never drop below 50. I maintain that. But I want to get like top tier in Pokemon because I just love it. And I'm already so deep in the mechanics. It's just putting that extra oomph to bump myself up, taking that next level. And I'm like, since I'm already basically there, it shouldn't be too hard. But it might be, getting into that god tier range is, oof. And and I want to try to go to competitions, but I'm gonna be realistic. Like I already. For my day job, already dedicated a lot of time taking off for game stuff. So I don't know how it's going to be like a random Tuesday. I need to be in Oklahoma because that's where the regional is. Like that's the only thing that stopped me. But this year is not going to happen, obviously. But I know they can do it online and stuff. And there's so many points and things you have to do. So I may try that. But definitely when it opens up to the in-person thing again, I definitely want to give a good Pokemon tournament run, try to get to Worlds or something or regionals and see how far that goes. And then also in Smash, like 2020 is going to be the year I was going to take my Smash game to a cosmic level. There's a in Houston here, there's like a professional, Smash player ring. They meet every Sunday or whatever, train, get better and all that stuff. And I was going to start going because the homie ran it that I met one day and I was like, cool. But COVID happened. So I put a damper in that. And online play can only take you so far. Everyone knows who plays any fighting game or any competitive game like that knows that, you could be god tier online and go to like a tournament and get smacked. I mean, smacked.
Yep.
So Pokemon and Smash definitely want to just take my game to the next level, respectively. Scale it for both, because how good I'm at in Pokemon is not how good I'm in Smash. Like I'm probably like middle of the road. Like, if I went to a tournament, I could probably make it past the first round, maybe the second. But once we get to like that top 100, it's Dunsky for me. So I got the chair. So one of the game genres, like you said, RPGs, you really want to play, take your time with is so a genre for me that kind of went to the wayside was RTS. I used to love RTS games like Advanced Warfare. I had it for the Game Boy. And then, the DS, those line of games, love them. Love them. Actually, Advanced Wars is more turn-based, but like strategy. I really love RTS games, and I don't know what happened, but like because I feel like they're a genre you really gotta spend time with, because if you don't keep up with it, like you just get smacked.
Yeah.
Like I used to play StarCraft in college, and I loved it. And like I really want to get back in tune with that genre. So that's what I want to do. If it's not because the time invest. Well, yeah, it is because of the time investment, because RTS's learning curves are just steep.
Big time, yeah.
Just steep. But I don't know, to me it's so rewarding to beat someone in an RTS game, because it feels like, man, I earned this. Because besides obvious skill, like there's so much going on at all times.
Mind games.
Yeah. Professionally, just get better. I want to really work on my video features this year. So one of the big things, I've been doing interviews and videos for a while, and I feel like my writing dipped. and a way to mend that, because I know everything is video now. I'm like, you know what? And so, I want to take my writing and just write video features and make as many of those possible. So that's my professional goal this year, is to do 2 video features a month is my goal. So that way, the year comes out, I got 24 video essays, which, is basically just a written piece anyway, combining the 2 worlds, and just get better. Because, I feel like, I watched The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, that documentary. And, that mentality he has of just, to be the best and to literally be like, I'm not good enough is a mentality that few people have. Michael Jordan wasn't like, I got 3 rings, no one can touch me. He was like, as long as I'm going to be on the court, I need to be good.
Right.
And, I guess the mentality was, I think, that I want to take for myself, especially in my gaming career, is that Michael Jordan said he could win a game and still be upset with himself. And, and I want to look at my work and be like, let's say, this was the best whatever in its category. I want to be able to reflect on my work and be like, this was good, but I see everything that needs to be better, but not in a negative way, because they can quickly,
right, yeah.
But just basically have that winning mindset of, even when I'm at the top, even when I've made a masterpiece that I'm not gonna live on past glories. I still got to keep going.
Yeah.
So Mamba mentality, as they say.
Hey, R.I.P. to the God.
R.I.P. to Kobe. It was a hard year, man.
It really was, man. Damn. But yeah, that's exciting to hear though, because like if you're gonna keep those skills sharp, you gotta do it. And yeah, like you said, like if your writing skills are sharp, and if you could just like voice it and put some video to it, like it's obviously it's a lot. It's harder than it sounds, but if you can put it together, like that is work. That's work that you can put out there into the world. Even if like 100 people see it, 1,000 people see it, or if it gets on the top page of some subreddit or whatever, like the fact that you put work out there and people can see it, like that's something you can keep, that you can hold and then work off of in like futures. Like anytime I do a piece of work, whether it's written or if it's a video thing, I watch it back and I read it back multiple times. Like a week from when it's published, a year from when it's published. And I'm like, damn, I would have done things this way. I would have said that instead. And I could see how I've taken those lessons from back then and how it's integrated into my work today. But as long as you keep tabs on what you can improve from past work, even like stuff like, I think my Persona 5 Royal review is fire. Like, I think that is like the best thing I've written at Games, or one of the best things I feel like I've written at GameSpot. But there's still like, I still like pluck at it and read it back sometimes, and like watch the video version of the review back sometimes and be like, okay, next time I talk about like this game upcoming, I want to make sure I like hit these notes. I do some things like that. So, but you can't have that mentality unless you put things out there. So I think that's, I mean, that obviously, because you've been doing this for as long as anyone else has, our age. So, but if for folks who might be listening to this, like that's definitely a thing. And yeah, man, I'm excited to see how you put that energy out into the world, man. Cause
man, stay tuned. Everybody listening, stay tuned. We're about to get crazy here. We're about to have some hot takes. Some real hot. Not all of them are going to be hot. Some of them are just going to be like, did you know?
Yeah.
That you missed one of the best games ever, which is going to be my first video. That's it. That's the only hint you're getting. I was
about to say, like, ooh, what are we talking about here?
I will say this though, the boy Cameron Hawkins, shout out to Cam. He knows this because for one of the JRPGs you need to play, Michael, because no one's played this JRPG and it's amazing. And if you can find it and acquire it, you should. It's called Eternal Sonata.
Yo, I was talking about Eternal Sonata not too long ago, actually.
Oh, you played it? Oh, then you
I played it.
Like, most people haven't played, and I'm just like, that is the mechanics of the game, from the light to the shadow, and how also it's not like a super hard, complicated game, because when I explain the combat system, people think it's like super. I'm like, it's really not. It's really not all that. It's like you're in the light and the shadow, and most things can be affected by whether you're in the light or shadow, and they change too. Yeah, but like the story is super deep, but still not too deep. It's only like a 40-hour investment, which by JRPG standards is not a lot.
That's not a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, it's one of those games where it's like, man, I play games like Kingdom Hearts that dabbles in the action RPG, and sometimes does it good, sometimes it doesn't work well. Like for example, boss fights in Kingdom Hearts are just wacky. I don't know what's going on. I'm just smashing X.
Mm-hmm.
That's what anyone does in Kingdom Hearts when you fight a boss. But like this game, its systems, its story, everything. It's probably on my list of favorite JRPGs. It's on there. I'm not gonna give it a number because Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is always number one. But
yeah, hey. Big facts. I love Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
Yeah. Man, I just want to shout that out there real quick.
Hey, Eternal Sonata. It was also like one of the few JRPGs you can get on Xbox 360, and that's why I played it. So like that and Blue Dragon was probably like, and I guess Lost Odyssey too. But out of those, like Eternal Sonata was like the most unique to me. I'm like, what the like these characters are parallels of old like classical composers. What the hell? Like this is wild. But also like you said.
It's got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good stuff. I think that was Bandai Namco that made that game.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really wish they would do something like that again, but hey, probably not at this point. But yeah. So Michael, I want to thank you again for joining the show. I appreciate it. You're a god amongst men, doing real work out here in the gaming industry. But real quick, where can the people find you? Where can they slide in them DMs, take their hot takes to you?
So you can find me and all of my bullshit at Michael P. Higham on Twitter. That's probably the outlet that I'm most active on. That's not GameSpot.com. I use Twitter quite frequently because that's how I connect with folks, and that's how I know what folks are up to. That's how we connected, Odell. Like that's how I connected with Bless. That's how I connected with folks like Natalie Flores. That's how I got my job at GameSpot. So Twitter is wild. Twitter is a double-edged sword, but you got to learn how to wield it to your advantage. So if you want to find me, whether I'm like faded as shit at midnight, tweeting out Drake lyrics, or something, or if you want my hot takes, I don't really have hot takes, or if I don't know, if you want to keep up with my stuff, definitely go there. Or this is the first time I'm going to plug my Twitch stream, which is kind of weird to me. But if you want some, I'm doing a Deus Ex, the original Deus Ex from the year 2000. I'm doing a full playthrough of that on Twitch. I'm also doing the original Nier. Nier Automata is one of my favorite games of all time, and this is my first playthrough of the original Nier. So I'm doing that also on Twitch. So you can find me at twitch.tv/BrazyAsian, AZN, BRAZYAZN. That is a callback to my neighborhood. Maybe I should change my name. I don't know. Listen, my neighborhood was wild back in the day, and there's some habits I haven't shaken off since then. So you know me, but
I've been bumped into.
Hey, all right. Like, I mean, real talk. Like back in my neighborhood was like, it was all blood gangs, and it's like kind of like those are the folks like we roll with through then, and it was never like, oh, we're doing bad. Well, all right, they did bad shit, but like it was never like bad shit. But it was kind of like, oh, this is like
that's just how people talked.
This is the set we rep. This is the language we use, right? And these are the colors we wear. These are our neighborhoods. These are the people who like walk up and down the streets that we dap up when we see them and shit like that. So it's kind of like a way of like carrying that energy forward. I don't know how other people perceive it, but for me, that's just like an ode to where I grew up and the people I grew up with. But anyway, if you want to see video games, some dope video games, you can find me there. But and also, like I said, I'm an editor, writer, host at GameSpot.com. And yeah, if my colleagues do a lot of great work over there as well. So shouts out to them. They support me as well, and I couldn't do things like this without them. So also shouts out to you, Odell. Thanks for having me on, man.
Always, man. It was a pleasure. First year of the show done in the book, season 4. We out here. We done started it. So as always, you can find me at Odell Harmon Jr., all your social media, all that good stuff. Hit me up. You talk to me, I'll talk back. That's just how the world works. You know what I'm saying? Follow the podcast, FC Podcast 23. And if you want to throw some change my way, we do have a Patreon at Full Circle Podcast, Patreon. Search it. It'll pop up. You'll see my logo, my beautiful face. It ain't that hard, people. You know how to work the internet by now. But as always, I'm glad you're here. I'm hoping for a wonderful blessings, overflowing blessings all week, all year, all month, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got a vaccine, people, so we're on our way. As always, have a great week and be blessed.
Peace.